We're back. We're back. Hold on, let me get comfortable. You should get comfortable as well because this might be one of the long ones. Grab your drinks, grab your snacks, maybe make some popcorn, get comfy, the whole shebang. Happy April. Wait, it's May. Happy May. Happy May. This year is going by so fast and I am back again with another film review video. Welcome back to my Monstera corner. Today we are discussing animated films. I've been watching these all throughout April. I actually watched so many films in April, but I'm gonna be only discussing the animated ones today. I'm so excited today because there's some crazy bangers coming up, so you had better be paying attention because there's gonna be some good films for you to watch in May. Some good recommendations coming to you today. As usual, all of the details for my film challenge this year are in my 2025 film recap video. Go check that out if you have no clue what the hell I'm talking about. I will be reviewing 9 animated films in this video. Before I start actually talking about anything, I will discuss the medium of animation first because I think that animated movies are like the best thing ever. So, animation. First of all, I think arguably animation is the best medium because there's nothing you cannot do. Like, they say the sky's the limit, but there is no limit with animation. Like, especially with hand-drawn animation, you could do whatever you want. And I think that is so beautiful and gorgeous. To those people out there who consider animated movies to be kids movies, you can click off this video right now. There's no room for that on my channel. Absolutely not. Some of the animation that I've seen and loved in my lifetime would be absolutely traumatizing for a child. So do with that what you want, but I will not be tolerating any animation is only for kids propaganda on this channel. So go elsewhere with that opinion if you have it. I am absolutely a fiend for an animated movie. I genuinely think animation is up there in the best things ever, along with ice cream and baby animals. Like, it's the top 3. Animation is up there. I think I love it so much just because it is literally the textbook definition of labor of love. Like, you need to have so much patience and passion for what you're doing. Especially these hand-drawn animated movies take years and years and years of hard work. And you just have to be so passionate about what you're doing to be able to keep going on one project for that long. Like, it's absolutely crazy. I have huge respect for anybody who does animation. It is not easy. And you have to have such incredible artistic talent to do it as well. Like, I'm just here appreciating the movies that are the labors of love from these animators and animation studios. You can only be an animator and keep going for years and years and years on one film if you really love what you're doing. And I think that is literally the coolest thing ever. Actually, in fact, 50% of my 4 favorites is animated movies right now. Editor, put them on screen. Across the Spider-Verse is in there, and Your Name. Your Name is always in my 4 favorites. I decided that it would be a great idea to start off this video with just rapid firing some of my animated favorites, since I am a self-proclaimed fiend for an animated movie. So I'm just gonna give you some mandatory viewing recommendations. If you're gonna stick around on this channel, you have to have seen these films. So I don't make the rules. Okay, so starting off, of course, with Ghibli, like, you knew this was coming. Watching Kiki's Delivery Service at the age of 4 actually changed my life. I grew up on these films. Physically, it's impossible for me to stop talking about them. They're so good. There's so many unpopular, amazing ones. Like, obviously, like, Spirited Away is great, Howl's Moving Castle is great, but have you heard of Whisper of the Heart? Amazing film, so good. Go watch it now. Up on Red Poppy Hill, amazing film, go watch it right now. Honestly, just any Ghibli film that you can get your hands on is gonna be amazing. Except one, but we don't talk about that. Also, Into the Spider-Verse and Across the Spider-Verse, these two are insane. If you haven't seen them, you're missing out, seriously. The first time I saw both of these, I felt like I couldn't open my eyes far enough to like absorb all of the detail because the animation is so rich and so overwhelming in a great way. Oh, and I cannot wait for Beyond the Spider-Verse to come out next year, I believe. And I know that there's some people online, especially on Letterboxd, who are not fans of Makoto Shinkai's work, but I think his films are amazing. I love Your Name. Like I said, it's in my 4 favorites and it will be forever. I genuinely cry every time when I watch it because of how beautiful it is. I need to have a home cinema because of that film so that I can watch it with like proper sound and on a huge screen. I also really like Suzume by Makoto Shinkai as well. I recommend that film. Lastly, I will say Fantastic Mr. Fox by Wes Anderson. I watched this for the first time last year and I loved it. It's so good. It's so funny and it's stop motion, which is so insane and beautiful, and I love stop motion. And yeah, it's such a fun film. Definitely give that a watch as well. The point that I'm trying to make is that there is so much amazing animation out there and we need to be supporting it more so that they give animators more money and more funds and more resources to keep making these films. That's what I'm trying to say. Without further ado, let's get started on my 9 films of last month. As usual, let me just list off the films that I watched last month first, and then I will get into each one of them and let you know my thoughts. The films that I watched in April are Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind by Hayao Miyazaki, Who Framed Roger Rabbit by Robert Zemeckis, Isle of Dogs by Wes Anderson, Castle in the Sky by Hayao Miyazaki, Over the Garden Wall by Nate Cash, which is a series, Marcel the Shell with Shoes On by Dean Fleischer Camp, The Tale of Princess Kaguya by Isao Takahata, Song of the Sea by Tom Moore, and My Life as a Courgette by Claude Barras. I actually watched 3 Ghibli films last month, so I think it's only right that I start with those ones, also because I raved so much about Ghibli earlier on. Last year, when I was doing my first 120 films watching challenge, I realized that I had actually not seen all of the Ghibli films, and I set out on a journey of finishing, like watching through every single film that has come out of Ghibli. I had 3 left to go, and those 3 are the ones that I watched this month. First off is Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind. The storyline is a little bit difficult and confusing to explain, but I'm gonna try my best, okay? This is the oldest feature film to come out of Studio Ghibli, of course directed by Hayao Miyazaki. This is set in a world where there's been some sort of toxic apocalyptic war, and as a result of that there is a toxic forest that has spread throughout almost all of the land, and there's only a few areas where it's safe for people to actually live. And Nausicaa is the princess of one of these areas called Valley of the Wind. She is trying to learn how to communicate with the creatures of this forest and kind of how to make it possible for people to live alongside of the forest and the creatures there. Then there is a bunch of imperialist invasion bullshit, and Nausicaa is forced to leave Valley of the Wind to try and basically save everybody because of the imperialist invasion bullshit. The plot isn't the easiest to explain, but trust me, it's definitely worth a watch, especially because it is the first Studio Ghibli feature film as well. I will say you can definitely tell that it is the first Studio Ghibli feature film just because some of the themes that they're known for example, like climate themes and stuff like that, definitely are present in the film, but I feel like they're only starting to explore those themes. So you can like kind of see the development of Ghibli ideas and themes starting in this film and then moving towards the later ones, if that makes sense. Obviously, this film also contains a good amount of Ghibli magic, I guess. The world building is amazing for like quite a short movie. They've really fleshed out the characters and the motives and the world in general and how it works and how people find themselves in the environment and everything. I think that's really well done. Nausicaa is great as a character. I really like her. People keep thinking she isn't wearing pants, but she actually has like really skin colored leggings on which is a little bit confusing, but she's definitely wearing pants, guys. Don't sexualize Nausicaa. It takes up climate issues, which Miyazaki usually does in his films, and it wouldn't be a Miyazaki film if there wasn't like flying machines and contraptions of some sort. So you can definitely find that in this film. I would say it's not Ghibli's best, but it's also definitely not their worst. Okay, this is what I'm talking about. Yes, yes, yes. Ghibli kids falling in love, funny action, Ghibli magic, lovable characters, compelling story. Like, we can wrap it up. We can actually finish the video here. This film is called Castle in the Sky. Basically, our guy Pazu, he's going to work at the mines. He's a little kid, he works at the mines, and he is heading to work when he sees a girl falling from the sky. But not like in the life-threatening, concerning way, more like in a she's floating down very peacefully kind of way. And he's like, huh? And he helps her. Eventually, when she wakes up, he befriends her. It turns out that she is the lost princess of a floating ancient kingdom, Castle in the Sky. And she's got this really awesome, cool crystal necklace that allows her to float in the air. If she falls from somewhere high, it doesn't kill her. There are two groups of people who want this necklace. And the first group is a very lovable group of pirates. They're super funny. It's really great. The leader of the pirates wants it for the floating power. And then there's a really evil government dude who wants the stone in order to find Laputa. Girl, your body be like Laputa, which is the floating kingdom. So he wants to go there for the advanced technology that they were known to have, and he knows that he needs the stone to get there. So both of these groups begin pursuing Sheeta, who's the princess, and Pazu, who helps her. And a bunch of really awesome, cool stuff happens. And it's so cute. I love it when like 10-year-old kids in Ghibli films fall in love. It's so cute. It's so cute. It gets me every time. It's so whimsical. It's really fun. There's a super funny like fight scene towards the beginning of the film where it's just two like really buff guys going at it. It's super funny and they're like trying to one-up each other. It's definitely one of the more child-friendly Ghibli films, and it deals with the themes of obviously like home, loss, and environmental issues, and in general just fuck-ass men ruining things, which is, you know, we go through that every day. I loved the characters. I think there's so many lovable, awesome, cool characters here. The storyline is really fun and easy to follow. The animation is great, obviously. This is from the 80s as well, I believe. Yeah, this movie's from 1986. So for a film from the 80s, it looks really modern, like animation-wise. It's so fun, so good, really well drawn. Just, I could go on and on, you guys. How many reasons do you need? And it's on Netflix, so you don't have any excuses on why you shouldn't watch it. And if you don't have Netflix, there's illegal websites out there that you can use. No excuses. This is the tale of Princess Kaguya, directed by Isao Takahata, also from Studio Ghibli. This is the real deal, you guys. This film is so beautiful, so well made, so profound. The story is insane. Kaguya is a little princess who is born out of a bamboo stalk, and her adoptive dad finds her in his bamboo grove, just sitting on a piece of, or like inside a piece of bamboo. And her adoptive parents, mom and dad, believe her to be a divine presence, and so they take her in and start to raise her as their own child. So for the first few years of her life, they live in the countryside, just working in the bamboo grove, kind of letting her get to know the world and get to know herself, of course, and kind of learn the ways of the world and learn about nature and stuff. And she's really, really happy, and she makes friends. She has a great little life going for her. And then at one point, the dad gets it into his head that she's supposed to have like much more grandiose life than what they can provide her. And they decide to, against her will, against her wishes, ship her off into the capital city where she can become a princess and like learn the ways of the court and stuff, live in a court and get married. And so she is forced to leave behind the life and the world that she loved and her friends and everybody that she knows. Yeah, classic case of man thinking he knows better than a woman and ruining her life. Yeah, I have to take a moment just to talk about this animation. I'm gonna try and put some example photos on screen. The animation is so gorgeous. I don't think I've ever seen animation like this in my life. It's watercolor, especially some of the shots and scenes of like the environment and the nature surroundings, especially like flowers and trees and stuff, is just so gorgeous. I actually cried. I'm not even joking, I actually cried because it was so beautiful. Isao Takahata really just sat down in the studio and said, let me show the world what I can do. And he did that. He pulled that out of his ass. I was genuinely so shocked. Also, there is a scene towards the middle of the film where Princess Kaguya is escaping from a house. I can't really say much of the context, but she runs out of the house that she's in, and that animated sequence is so fucking gorgeous. I urge you to go watch this, even for that, like that one scene. It's so beautiful, it's so emotionally loaded. Somehow they get so much character and emotion into the art style, and it's just so beautiful. I'm kind of replaying it in my mind. It's so good. Again, this is on Netflix. Go watch it tonight. Go watch it tonight. Make plans. It's so gorgeous. And then of course the story, it deals with feminism, freedom, a responsibility, family. It's based, I believe, on like a mythological story. I'm not fully sure, but I think it is. And this is Isao Takahata's take on it. It's so well done. It's really sad. It's just men ruining everything. Like I said, it's a case where a dad believes that he knows what is best for his daughter and goes against all of her wishes to make that happen for her, even though it's actually for his own good. It's really fucking sad to witness, and it made me so angry for her and so sad for her because she can't do anything about it. It's just happening to her, but it's genuinely such a beautiful film. Devastating. And it's all happening in beautiful watercolor. Yeah, actually 6 stars. 6 stars. Okay, moving on to a different production company away from Studio Ghibli. This film is called Song of the Sea, and it's based on Irish mythology, which I was really excited about because I know nothing about Irish mythology. I thought that was so cool, and I was super excited to learn a little myth situation. Basically, the story starts off with 2 siblings, Ben and Saoirse. They live on a little island in a lighthouse with their dad. They've got one-sided beef because Ben kind of blames Saoirse for their mom's apparent passing. We don't know what happened to her, but it seems like she passed away. Ben blames Saoirse for it. And then one year around Saoirse's birthday, it's also Halloween, around that time of the year, they discover that Saoirse is actually a selkie, which means that she can turn into a seal. And what they also find out is that she's been tasked with freeing a bunch of fairy creatures from the goddess Mecca, who is trying to turn them into stone by stealing their emotions. Are you following? And so they go on a journey in order for Saoirse to free the fairy creatures, as she has been told, from the goddess Mecca. I simply thought this was amazing. I have to talk about the animation, of course. The art style is so gorgeous, especially the like backdrops and like the surroundings. The way that they're drawn is so rich and full of texture and detail. There's a scene where Ben goes to see this like fairy creature. I'm not gonna give away any of the plot, but he essentially has a lot of beard. Like, he's got heaps of hair and beard. That scene is animated so well, and I wish wish I could have watched it from a bigger screen. I was only able to watch it from my laptop, but I wish I had a huge, again, I need a home cinema so that I can be watching these films. The animation is so rich, so vibrant, so colorful. I thought it worked really well with the mythological themes and story of the film. And I mean, of course, the storyline and everything was gorgeous, and I love the inclusion of Irish mythology. I had never heard of this story before or any of these mythological characters, so it was really awesome to learn about that. I also really liked the development of Saoirse and Ben's relationship. I thought that was really amazing to see like their little character arc together. Highly recommend. I don't know what more I can say. Bending the rules slightly, because this is actually a series. It's called Over the Garden Wall. It is an animated series. The episodes are super short, so I do think that the full runtime is pretty much the same as a film. So I'm gonna include it in this video. This series is about two brothers called Wirt and Greg who get lost on the other side of the garden wall in this huge, scary forest. Actually, scary, creepy forest. They try to find their way home, and a bunch of scary, kooky, crazy things happen. That's all I can say. This is so vibey. I know a lot of people rewatch this every year in like autumn, around that time, because it's so autumnal. The concentration of autumn vibes in this series is crazy. So I will be rewatching this after the summer is over, just to try and get into the autumn vibe. I do think it's really, really good. I know a lot of people love this, like love it down, love it the house down boots, and I'm gonna go out there and say it. I didn't think it was that good. The story is good. I like the character development between Wirt and Greg and their relationship. I like the general story. The animation is good. There's nothing wrong with it, but I just maybe fail to see why some people rate it so highly. Like there's so many people who are like ride or dies. Maybe I just need to watch it again. If you are a huge fan of Over the Garden Wall, please tell me and please discuss it with me, because maybe I'm just missing something. I will give it the fact that it's actually gonna go crazy in autumn with the vibes and everything, but I will say that I didn't think it was the best story ever and not the best animation ever. I feel bad for not liking it that much, but I do think there's better animation and better stories on this list and in this video, so I can't really rate it super high. But yeah, it was good. It was good. Again, disclaimer, everything that I say in this video is just my opinion, and I'm not trying to discourage you from watching any of them, or I'm not trying to shit on your possible favorites. This is just my opinion. For the next 3 films, we're going to be jumping into stop motion animation. Can I just say to the stop motion artists out there, you are so insanely talented, and I think you're actually the coolest people alive. Please don't ever stop doing what you do. And please, let's bring back feature films that are stop motion animated. They're so cool and so awesome. Hello? I actually, when I was researching this video, I found out that one of my favorite books called Piranesi is being adapted as a puppet stop motion film. I don't know when it's gonna come out, but there are plans to make it into a stop motion film, and I'm so excited about that. Finding that out made my entire week. I cannot wait. The first stop motion film is called My Life as a Courgette, and now this film is in French, and I watched it on a terrible website with absolutely awful subtitles, so I definitely missed on some lines and maybe some of the plot points and themes and things in the film, purely because I do not speak French. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna learn, but I cannot speak French. I am gonna leave that there as a disclaimer. I probably missed something. However, it was still really good. This is a super short film, about 65 minutes. It is the story of a kid called Courgette, whose mum passes away, and after her death, Courgette moves into a foster home with around 5 or 6 other kids. He befriends a really lovely friendly police officer, and he has a bit of a hard time at the foster home at first, and then we kind of see his development as he opens up to the other kids and how they end up becoming super close, like a family, and making friends and all of that. And it's beautiful, and the art style is really cool and really awesome. It's super distinctive. The character design is super distinctive. I feel like they did a really great job designing each of the kids' characters, especially to their personalities. Like, you can see what kind of people they are from their character design, and I think that that was really successful. It's such a cute story with with the French that I picked up. All of these kids have really heavy backstories, and they've gone through some really fucked up things that kids should never ever go through. Even through all of that, each of these kids manages to, you know, hold on to their empathy and their kindness and open themselves up to the other kids in the foster home. They end up building a really special, beautiful relationship. It's really cute, and there is a happy ending, thank God. So it is a super heartwarming film, and like I said, it's really short. So if you're looking for a quick little watch and you speak French or you don't mind the terrible subtitles, highly recommend. And like I said, the art is awesome. It's in clay stop motion. Love that. What more can I say? Highly recommend. Next up is Isle of Dogs, a Wes Anderson film. This story is set in an alternate version of Japan. In this world, all of the dogs have been banished onto one island because of illnesses, incurable illnesses that were going around in the dog community in Japan. There is a whole conspiracy theory attached to this that I'm not going to get into, but just know that there's some political scheming happening as well. A few years after the whole banishing the dogs incident, the mayor's adopted son actually flies onto Isle of Dogs in order to try and find his dog that was also sent onto the island. Once he lands, he ends up meeting this group of good boy puppies who end up helping him try to find his dog. At the same time, we are trying to save the dogs on this island and help bring them back into society, essentially. Now, like I said, I loved Fantastic Mr. Fox, which is Wes Anderson's other animated film. I love his work in general. I think he makes really fun, awesome films, and he has a really distinctive style. So I thought it was really interesting in Fantastic Mr. Fox and this film as well to see kind of how they merge his very distinctive style with animation as a medium. So that was really interesting. I would also really love seeing other directors try to experiment a little bit more with especially animation, but especially stop motion animation, because it would be so interesting to see how other directors' styles translate into an animated medium, just like Wes Anderson did. I hope that that happens in the future. I hope more directors branch into animation as well. That'd be really cool to see. I love all of the dogs having different personalities. Especially my favorite character is Jeff Goldblum dog, who loves gossiping. It was so funny. I love the voice acting and how that gives life and personality to the clay animated dogs. I think that is really well done. I think the storyline is really cool. It's not mind-blowing in the way that some other Wes Anderson movies are, but it is still definitely a fun watch. So if you have access to this film, if you have access, like it's some elitist, if you manage to get your hands on this film, I think it's on Disney Plus. Definitely recommend watching. It's super fun. And I will also quickly recommend Grand Budapest Hotel, which is my favorite Wes Anderson film. And not just because Ralph Fiennes is in it, even though everything that Ralph Fiennes touches turns into gold, but it's a great film. Yes. Okay, now we are getting into some really interesting stuff. This is Marcel the Shell with Shoes On. This is a half stop motion animation, half live action film. Yes, get into it. The storyline is super cute. It follows Marcel, obviously, who is a little shell guy living in a big house with his grandma, who's also a little shell girl. Their community used to be a lot bigger back in the day when a couple actually lived in that house, but when the couple broke up and the man moved out, he accidentally removed and took with him the entirety of their little shell society community. So now it is just Marcel and his grandma. So this house starts getting rented out as an Airbnb. A amateur filmmaker dude moves in for a while and starts making videos to upload onto YouTube about Marcel in like a documentary style. They realize eventually that they can use their YouTube fame as a tool to try and find Marcel's family, and that's what we're following. I think this is kind of a brilliant movie. The animation and live action integration is done really well. It's so well combined that it looks real. It's also filmed as a documentary in a documentative style, so it becomes very easy for me to believe that there actually is a little guy called Marcel just living in an Airbnb somewhere in the States with his grandma. Like, that's my best friend Marcel. He's totally real. This is not a work of fiction. It becomes so easy to believe that this is an actual documentary because it's so well made. I will have to give a fair warning though. This is definitely on the slower side, also because it is filmed as a documentary and it kind of just follows Marcel's and his grandma's day-to-day life. It is definitely like a slow slice of life type of film. It is really cute. It's really cute to see like how Marcel and his grandma, because they're obviously like this big, they're tiny, how do they use everyday like human-sized objects to move through the environment? Like, how does that work because they're so tiny? Like, that's really interesting to see how they did that. But it is definitely a slower paced film, so if you're not used to that or if you get bored very easily, this may not be for you. This is like comfort film 101. I love Marcel. I would probably give my life to save Marcel, but unfortunately he's not real, so okay, lock in. This is the last film, so lock in. Picture this. It's Hollywood in the 50s, golden age of cinema, except it is a freaky alternate universe Hollywood where cartoons called toons live fully integrated with the human society. Roger Rabbit is a toon actor who's making these kinds of like physical comedy films where he gets hurt a bunch of times, like shit gets thrown on top of his head and he gets like burned and stretched and whatever, and he doesn't get hurt because he's a toon. He doesn't feel pain and he cannot physically get hurt, right? Roger hears that his wife, Jessica Rabbit, has been playing patty cake with some other man. Huh? And this is actually patty cake because it is a children's movie, so don't get it twisted. So my guy Roger, of course, is heartbroken when it turns out that the side piece man is found dead. Roger becomes a prime suspect of his murder. Bruh, they don't make him like this anymore. They don't make him like this anymore. The concept is crazy. This is also a half live action, half 2D animation film. For a film from the 80s, this is so well made. Like the combination of the 2D animation and live action for the most part looks super smooth for a film from the 80s. It is such a goofy film. This film is staring camp right in the eye and laughing in its face. It's so funny. Just the premise of the film that I just told you, is that not the funniest thing you've ever heard? It's so fucking funny. I love it so much. I don't know what Disney is doing because they need to be making more films like this. Why are they making the third fucking Frozen movie and Moana live action when they could be making films like this? It is so funny. It's so inventive for its time. Also, I have to say, this film takes up the theme of racial discrimination in a really good way, in my opinion. It creates this kind of juxtaposition between the humans in Hollywood and the toons who are consistently discriminated against seen as lesser than. A lot of the toon actors like Roger are involved in making entertainment for humans where they get repeatedly hurt and accidents happen to them, they get abused, and humans find it hilarious, like it's comedy to them. Okay. Also, the villain in this film ends up being a capitalist pig, a representation of evil corporate America. Yeah. Let that sink in. Let that sink in. It's delicious. There's social commentary in a campy, goofy movie like this. And what is Disney doing? Highly recommend. Even though Roger is annoying as fuck sometimes, he is certainly a character. Also, there's a really interesting dynamic and cool relationship trajectory between Roger and the detective guy who ends up helping him try to clear his name from the murder suspicions, because this guy, the human guy, his brother was killed by a toon. Gag. So obviously this guy is kind of like a little bit suspicious against all toons now because his brother was killed by a toon. He ends up kind of rethinking his thought process and everything through working together with Roger to clear his name. It's amazing. Also, Jessica and Roger, yeah, also Jessica in general, yeah, you actually should just watch this film just because of Jessica. She is bad as fuck. Actually, she's not bad, she's just drawn that way. We have officially made it to the end of the video. Thank you for staying this long if you have. I hope that my voice isn't too much for your ears now at the end of the video. Thank you for listening to me yapping for another 30 minutes. I highly appreciate it. Hopefully you were able to get at least a few recommendations out of this video as well. Like I've said time and time again in this video, I love a good animated film. So if you have any recommendations, please tell me, drop them in the comments or let me know. I'll see you again next month. I'll be back with my review of my non-English speaking films. I've already watched a few bangers, so there will be some good ones coming your way. I can't wait to talk to you about them. But yeah, I'll see you next month.